Greetings, gentlemen. It is I, Victor VonFrankenstein, the Grateful MGTOW, back again with more content as promised. Welcome. Let's get started. Well, good morning to everybody out there in crazy clown world. Hope everybody's quarantine is going well. Hope everybody is safe and healthy and is taking this time to prepare and get everything in order that they need to get in order, gentlemen. Crazy times we're living in. Tico, welcome. Law One Colt, good morning, good night, whichever it might be. It is about 9 o'clock here in the morning. Morning, Cyber. Mr. Forma, glad to have you, gentlemen. So, as you can all see, the picture on the screen, this is the type of silly shit that YouTube is allowing for advertisements on their platform. So even though they deem content not appropriate for their advertisements, they will allow advertisements such as this. And I'm pretty sure, as you can all see, that's not donut glazing dripping from that woman's mouth. Pun intended. But aside from that, I mean, it's just a picture I decided to throw up for this little live stream this morning. As I said, hope everybody is being safe, is being healthy, is practicing the social distancing that comes quite naturally, especially to those of us in the community that would consider ourselves monks. It's something that this is something we were built for. Me and my father have already been, we're solitary people and have already been distancing ourselves long before the actual reports came around. About 3 weeks before they actually declared a shelter-in-place order here in Wisconsin. I had to make it out this morning and do a little bit of some shopping just for some basic things. I'm lucky enough that I already had a box of N95 masks for construction projects in my house. I have plenty of latex and nitrile gloves. So I personally don't really worry about going into the stores, but I can tell that things are quiet, to say the least. Streets are mostly deserted, and besides the grocery stores, everything else is shut down. It's pretty much a ghost town out there right now. Now, last week, I was given a writ of passage, pretty much, from my company that allows me to travel to and from work, as I am part of the critical supply line, the food industry. Without some of the chemicals and the things that we create, people would be without some of the necessary staple foods that you find in your grocery store, things that people eat every single day. They also started giving us hazard pay, which is a very nice thing. I recently was promoted into a maintenance position, so I'm actually doing quite well right now. Lots of overtime, and I really hope everybody is doing well financially and is going to be able to keep their heads above water during during this time. I know some of you, Mr. Formal would be one, that he has a restaurant business, and I'm hoping that he's able to stay afloat by doing takeouts and possibly deliveries. Hopefully there are some companies. I know our company is providing lunch for all of us every single day until this quarantine is lifted, which they're projecting, well, they'll reassess it on April 24th. So, hey, I'll take free lunch any day. So what's going on in the chat? Lawin says, wish I knew I can block ads like this, but I might just report it because it's misleading. Yeah, I wish I could block ads like that too. It's quite ridiculous that even after things like the COPPA, the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, that they would have ads like this. Now I know that they probably won't direct ads like that towards children per se, but it doesn't mean that children wouldn't actually, somehow see this type of ad being put on there. I see a lot of feminist ads being pushed my direction, and I'm sure that the algorithms, and as we all know, just the certain circles that we partake in, those algorithms are going to push certain ads towards certain groups of people. It seems quite hilarious that they would push ads for dating sites for MGTOW creators. They really want us to run on back to that plantation, and yeah. That juice ain't fucking worth the squeeze, gentlemen, as we all know. So yeah, anyways, I just wanted to get on here real quick, give you guys a little update of what's going on around my neck of the woods. It's happening everywhere. It's going to be some trying times ahead. It's nice to see that everybody's still doing live streams and getting together and talking with one another. I'm not sure if any of you gentlemen were able to tune into the Zoom stream last night with some really impressive gentlemen getting together and talking about the crisis at hand and just basic men's stuff also. I really wish I would have heard Hammerhand talk a little bit more. He kind of stayed in the background there, which is fine. Yeah, that ad, it's pretty funny. I mean, it is quite humorous. Like, God, Jesus, the level of desperation that a dating site would have to put an ad like that on there, and they just had to put that drip coming out of her mouth. Like, God, I mean, that level of desperation and degeneracy, it knows no bounds. And in a time of crisis like this, for them to be pushing that type of message, it just really seems out of place at this moment. And I think that there's a lot of things that seem out of place at this moment. I understand we're all going to continue creating the content as we see fit, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do still see, there's some people in the community that are still focusing that attention towards, towards women. And obviously it's one of the main topics of the community. for obvious reasons. But yeah, I mean, shit. That's what this place is for, you know. That's what MGTOW is for, a place for men to gather together, talk amongst each other, come to solutions, and a lot of times, yeah, there are no real true solutions to the societal and cultural issues of the day. But amongst this crisis, it just seems somewhat out of place. I see a lot of infiltrators coming into the community as of late. And recently I was attacked by MGTOW Expose, and it was quite hilarious that he tried to spin this narrative that somehow I was attacking him for being mixed race. Now, I want to set something absolutely straight with anybody that comes to my channel and chooses to view my content. MGTOW is not about racism, and I am not a racist person. I never have been, I never will be, and what's even more funny is that I too am mixed race. I'm Swedish, Danish, and Native American. So for him to say that I was attacking him for his mixed race, no, man. I was attacking him because he is an outright anti-Semite and a self-admitted National Socialist. And the people that he has surrounded himself with on his channel, he's even said that there are white nationalists in his chat, and for some reason he hides behind the victimhood mentality that the leftists so commonly will do, and tries to blame other people for attacking him because of his mixed race. And yet he is attacking the Jewish community because of all of the conspiracies behind everything. It's fucking ridiculous. And this guy is a complete joke. I might do a little bit deeper dive and analyze his video and do a little commentary to it. It was only, a 2-minute video. He had to chop up my video, my 2019 Christmas video, and tried to spin this narrative that I've been crying for years over my ex-wife. And what he cut out of that portion of the video was that I was actually talking about the death of my sister and the suffering that my family had to go through for years during those types of holiday seasons when family was supposed to be together. I wasn't talking about my ex-wife. Yes, I definitely had some depression, as most of us that didn't have the red pill or this knowledge before we had to go through divorce proceedings and to see our family torn apart. I found MGTOW, several years after my divorce, and after going through not only the red pill rage, but going through a very dark, nihilistic black pill perspective, even though I didn't understand or know about these philosophies until I started really digging and searching for, some type of guidance. It was through studying things, philosophies like what Alan Watts, I was listening to a lot of Alan Watts when I was finally directed to Sandman, and when I finally had found the MGTOW community, and my knowledge instantly expanded, and I was able to see that I fell into this default status of being a MGTOW monk. And as of May 13th, I believe it is, that will be my 9th year practicing the way of the monk. And I have to say, it has greatly improved my life. I'm, as I've said many times before, I'm one of the lucky ones. I truly am one of the lucky ones. I was able to escape the court systems. I have shared custody, and me and my ex actually have a very good functioning parental relationship. Which I can't say for most men that unfortunately have to face the gynocentric system and the family court systems. And we all know the statistics on that, and people can argue it all they want. They can come into this community and they can espouse all of the ridiculous ideologies that they want, the trad cucks, the PUAs, the incels, the black pillars, the dark knights, the fucking just on and on and on. We all see it, but they can't debunk these statements of fact. But they all like to look to the mainstream message, and they like to they pretty much I don't know. I mean, they're myopic. They see things as they want to see them, and they don't truly understand. There was a gentleman that posted a video that was arguing against MGTOW recently. I think it was last week sometime, and I just laid it down to him like, look, man, because his message, he was really like, I was on Reddit, and there's all these guys, and it just seems like everybody hates women. And it's like, no, dude, we don't hate women. We hate the gynocentric system that has been created and the blatant grab for power and abuse of that power by the feminist and the female empowerment movements. And he actually was quite understanding, and he ended up actually deleting his video. He seemed like he understood what it was that I was explaining to him. And there's a lot of people, they refuse to look in the mirror. They refuse to see that they are a part of the problem. And they'd like to shame those of us in the MGTOW community that simply are choosing to walk away from a rigged system, and they will use whatever shaming tactics or half-truths and false ideologies in order to claim that somehow we're wrong for simply making our own choices and walking away from the system. Now, we also had another infiltrator that decided to invite a woman into the community. And I will say this to Bitcoin, MGTOW Bitcoin and Freedom, whatever. His old channel was Russell Spears, and for some reason he thinks that we're attacking him because he has a girlfriend. Now, there's plenty of MGTOWs out there that, hey, as long as there's no marriage, no cohabitation, and I understand that, yes, if you have come into the MGTOW community, ooh, shit, the wind is getting crazy out there. Sorry about that, guys. If you have come into the MGTOW community before you went through the divorce system and had children, yes, then I would include the no kids also. Don't put yourself at that risk. But there are plenty of us gentlemen that we didn't have this community and this knowledge before we went down that path. And yes, I have children. And there are MGTOWs out there that still choose to have girlfriends, engage with women. That is their choice. I have no problem with that choice. The problem that we all had with what he did was that he invited that woman into the inner sanctum, thinking that that would be acceptable behavior simply because he has this idea that MGTOW, well, I can MGTOW any way that I want, and I will do whatever I want. Well, there's going to be some people that have conflicting ideas about that, and they're going to push back on that. You can have a girlfriend, just don't bring her around here. And as everybody could see in the facial expressions of that woman, she was absolutely not on board with what that gentleman was saying. And he's simply trying to convince himself of something that is just not true. He thinks that he can go down this pathway with this woman that he's had around for that many years. Like, dude, I'm sorry to say it, man, you're not MGTOW. Like, you can say you are all you want, but there are some of us in the community, especially those of us that choose the monk path, that we're not going to be supportive of that shit. And for some of the people out there that I know Mayhem has discussed this also, where he thinks that we should go out and, I don't know, that we have to take physical action. I'm just going to say to you, gentlemen, the best action that we can take as men moving forward is passive action. Passive action alone, making that choice to remain abstinent, live a minimalist lifestyle, focus on oneself, your health, your finances, give them nothing and take from them everything. There's not a truer statement. And just through that action alone, if more men were to choose that pathway, it would elicit such a change so much faster than any type of, I don't know what type of action they're talking about. And they remain very vague on these stances. And it's something that I can't support that. Now, when the day comes that, some Malthusian catastrophe happens, or the mouse utopia truly comes to fruition, and we are living in some post-apocalyptic time, and it's time to don the hockey mask, and it is truly time for the purge, yeah, you better fucking take some type of physical fucking action, but that time isn't here, gentlemen. And until that day comes, the only action that any of us need to be doing, focusing on ourselves, staying on our path, and truly the best thing that I think we can do is to walk away from the gynocentric system and walk away from the system in general the best that we can. We are all a part of the system regardless of how removed we think we are. We all contribute into this, and unfortunately the government, through taxation and programs for women, we will be forced to be a part of the system. But to walk away to the best of our ability, that impact is rippling out across all of these different communities. And I know you gentlemen out there, I know you can see it as well. And for people to even make the statement that MGTOW is, oh, you're just a bunch of losers. You guys just can't get any pussy. Like, there's a difference between can't and choosing not to. Like, this is a choice. In the current system, personally, I believe it's the only choice. And it is having an impact, and people are talking about it. People in all different types of circles. Now, it was funny that during last night's stream on Zoom, Sandman was talking about this fourth generational cycle that we go through. And that fourth generational cycle is easily expressed through the famous quote that strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times, and hard times create strong men. Now, there was a video that Sandman made, and the communist alt-left content creator Vosh yesterday did put out a video that was directly going after Sandman. And obviously the alt-left, they're insane people to begin with. But to have no knowledge or no research and to simply demonize the message and the philosophy of MGTOW without truly understanding or trying to see a different perspective, it was really easy to see that his smooth brain couldn't fucking understand why it is that men are choosing to walk away. But shit, gentlemen, I'm gonna go and get some more coffee, and looks like we're running up to about a half hour. I'm gonna try to get back on here a little bit later. I got a few things that I need to get done today before I jump back on here. Really busy week coming up. I've been working 12-hour shifts every single day, except for my weekends. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit wiped. But new job, new position, doing really good. Looking forward to times being a little easier and that I can get back on and start creating some more of my edited content. I might, like I was saying in I think one of my last streams, I might be just uploading my edited content directly to BitChute, and possibly to MGTOW TV. I still need to set that up. With everything going on, shit, man, I'm just busy, and it's gonna take a little bit of time. Like everything, it all eats up time so quickly. But I hope you gentlemen are being safe. I hope you're all healthy. I hope none of this affliction has affected any of you in your lives or your extended family's lives. And as long as you keep practicing, the path that we have most of us, we've already been practicing, I think we'll survive this just fine. Hope this message finds you gentlemen well. We'll talk again real soon.